Okay, let's read Kiely Rodni's full coroner final report of investigation I just received today, Thursday, October 13th. So the final classification is an accident for Kiely I believe it's pronounced, Rodni, born September 1st, 2015, never married, 5'5", 103 pounds, blonde hair, hazel eyes, white female. Remains identified by, or how identified, Detective Strachan during the autopsy. Lindsay Neiman is the mom. Her place of death is Prosser Creek Reservoir in Truckee, Nevada County, California. Death reported by a private dive company, so they did not name Adventures with Purpose by name. Autopsy, removed to coroner, yes. Cause, drowning. Other conditions, none. Manner of death, accident at Prosser Creek Reservoir. At work, no. The date of injury apparently is unknown. It said the decedent drowned in a lake while inside her vehicle. So that's what we have there. We have the case number, the reporting officer, Kiely's home address, all of the things we know. Hazel eyes, blonde hair. DNA taken, no. DNA refused, no. They gave us the GPS coordinates, the day that Adventures with Purpose found her, 8/21/22. Time of arrival on scene is 6:58 p.m., which seems a little late. Time reported, however, was 10:07. Search and rescue request reported to Placer County Sheriff's Office. The date reported August 6, 2022. Time of death given on August 21st is 8:33 p.m. Now it's saying she was located in her 2013 Honda CRV, California license plate 8YUR127, and the vehicle was near these coordinates given. They don't know if she was an organ tissue donor, unknown contagious diseases, unknown medical info. Cause of death, however, is still pending investigation. So that's pretty important. Smoker, yes. Alcohol use, yes. Remains identified by pending forensic pathologist report. No scars, marks, or tattoos observed, but we know allegedly she supposedly had the number 17 tattooed on her, so I'm not sure why that wasn't observed on her ribs. Was it because of the state of Kiely's body? Personal physician unknown, personal dentist, next of kin, Lindsay, Rodni Neiman, and Daniel Rodni were contacted by CHP's Truckee office at 9:45 on August 21st and notified there was a decedent located in the vehicle registered to Kiely Rodni. Positive ID was not able to be made at that time. Based on circumstantial evidence, the decedent was believed to be Kiely Rodni. They were advised of the pending pathologist report for confirmation of identity and a cause of death. Investigation. I was called to respond to Prosser Creek Reservoir to a peninsula southwest of Prosser Family Campground. I was advised a female decedent was located within the cargo space of the vehicle Kiely Rodni was reported to have been driving. I responded to the location to handle the coroner's case. I arrived on scene at approximately 1900 hours, so that's 7 p.m., and FBI agents, FBI crime scene techs, Placer County Sheriff's Office deputies, CHP officers, Truckee PD officers, and detectives from Nevada County Sheriff's Office were all near a tow truck. I spoke to Detective Saunier, who advised me that law enforcement divers had hooked the tow truck's winch to a vehicle under the water and were assisting with recovering the vehicle. I waited until the vehicle was removed from the water and I was given permission to begin my investigation. Body position. There was a white female decedent located in the rear cargo compartment of the silver 2013 Honda CR-V. The right leg of the decedent was against the pillar of the back seat and resting near the headrest. The remainder of the decedent was behind the seats and not visible from outside the vehicle. FBI agents and techs donned Tyvek suits and protective gear and entered into the vehicle. The body was removed under my supervision by FBI agents and FBI crime scene techs. The body was placed in a large black vinyl body bag, visually inspected, and the bag was sealed. No items were removed from the decedent's person, and the remains were later transported by Truckee Tahoe Mortuary directly to the Placer County Morgue. The body showed obvious signs of bloating, lividity, and decomposition. There was skin sloughing, and no positive ID could be made due to the decomposition present on the face. Mortuary. Detective Saunier told me the decedent was going to be transported directly to the Placer County Morgue and scheduled for examination on Tuesday. No mortuary photographs were taken by this investigator. Statements. I was advised by Detective Saunier that he believed the decedent was Kiely May Rodni based on his investigation. I did not obtain additional statements related to this case while I was on scene. Truckee Tahoe Mortuary funeral counselor Alyssa Babcock arrived on scene and transported the decedent's remains to Placer County's morgue facility at approximately 9:20 on August 21st, 2022. Again, no items of property were removed from the decedent. Any items taken from the scene will be noted in supplemental reports by the investigators. I was told the silver 2013 Honda CR-V was going to be towed by the FBI, and taken to their facility in Sacramento for additional processing. I was advised the vehicle will then be returned to the Truckee CHP office for their vehicle accident investigation team to perform their investigation. This case is pending the forensic pathologist's findings for identification and cause of death. So we still don't have that so far. Forward to Chief Coroner Sergeant Klinkenbeard. End of report. For photos of the scene and the decedent, refer to Detective Saunier's supplemental report. So we now have a supplemental report from Deputy Damian Norden, August 23rd, 2022. On August 23rd, 2022, at approximately 10:20 hours, I received a phone call from Captain Sam Brown. Captain Brown told me the decedent in case 122-02506 had been positively identified as Kiely Rodni. After I spoke to Captain Brown, I called the decedent's parents, Daniel Rodni and Lindsay Rodni, as it were. I offered to meet with Daniel and Lindsay, and they both told me to update them on the phone. I told Daniel and Lindsay the decedent had been positively identified as Kiely Rodni. Detective Josephine Strachan, August 23rd, 2022, approximately 8:30 at the Placer County Morgue. On the above date and time, I attended the autopsy for decedent Kiely Rodni at the Placer County Morgue in Roseville. At the completion of the autopsy, I collected the following items of jewelry removed from the decedent: jewelry, miscellaneous jewelry, bracelets from the right wrist, necklaces, rings. The items were transported to the sheriff's property unit and booked. Now we have reported by Sergeant Jason Klinkenbeard, October 12th, 2022. Supplemental Investigation. This report was forwarded to the Coroner Division by Deputy Mackey with the Patrol Division on August 23, 2022. Placer County Forensic Pathologist Dr. Gregory Reber, MD, performed an autopsy on the remains of Kiely. Positive ID of the decedent had been made by Detective Josephine Strachan during the autopsy. Detective Strachan was present during the autopsy and documented her observations and the method of ID in a supplemental report to the original missing persons report. NCO case number 12202364, supplemental report number 14. I have recently reviewed the pathologist's final report of autopsy, which listed the cause of death in this case as drowning. There were no other significant contributing conditions listed. I conferred with Detective Saunier, and he told me there was no indication of foul play regarding the criminal investigation into the death of Kiely. The manner of death in this case has been determined to be accidental. So, it is an accidental manner of death. No foul play. Closed accident. Oh, now we have the tox reports. Ethanol, 88, nicotine, presumption positive, caffeine, codeine, delta 9 carb THC, so THC we know. White cap plastic container, specimens received. Ethanol in the liver tissue. Some of this we wonder what is presumed to appear in a person's system post-mortem, and what does it represent? Oh my goodness, is that from her being in the car? Ethanol in autopsy report in vitreous humor. The measurement of the blood alcohol concentration is a routine procedure during the autopsy. Important. So let's see. The amount is 88 milligrams, is that? So understand that amount interpretation. It's hard to know how much that represents. It's a measure of blood alcohol, but we don't quite know. Blood alcohol could be pretty high. It's kind of hard to know how much that is. We'll have to examine this more. Nicotine. So the report limit is 80, but her result was 88. That seems excessive. Caffeine, cotinine. We will have to go through this in depth a little bit more to figure out what all these substances are. Product formed after the chemical nicotine enters the body, so that's just nicotine. And then we know THC, and they probably have more. details in the tox. Ethanol, alcohol, drinking alcohol, central nervous system depressant can cause effects such as impaired judgment. And of course, the THC is the principal psychoactive ingredient of marijuana and hash. That's what I was looking for too. Ethanol can also be a product of decomposition or degradation of biological samples. All of the following tests were performed for this case. So we have cannabinoids. Oh my. Analysis and reporting limits. Not reported THC canceled due to sample matrix problem. Cocaine and metabolites confirmation tissue. So that's something that was brought up, could be a possibility in her system. Is this the same? This isn't, I guess, benzos. It is cocaine, and that might be quite a bit. I'm going to have to go through each of these and determine what is what. The following is a list of general analyte classes. It looks like if all of these substances were present, this looks like quite a bit of things were in Kiely's system, and I see that she should not have been driving in this condition. It's pretty sad. So, drowning, the cause of death is indeed drowning. Tox, stock tissue, liver tissue. And then we have a coroner's ID tag attached to the zipper pull of the body bag containing the decedent confirms the case number. And they get down to the upper body was indeed covered by a spaghetti strap black French cut bodysuit. So she still had that bodysuit on apparently. A pair of black briefs are on the lower body as well. The lower body is covered by green twill pants with a black belt through the belt loops bearing multiple rivets. So that's that same grommet belt. The belt appears buckled. A gray-green sneaker is on the right foot along with a multicolored ankle sock. A matching sneaker accompanies the body within the body bag. A matching left sock is inside the loose left sneaker. Except for the shoe being off the left foot, the clothing appears relatively normal in position. So Kiely was dressed. Personal property includes a white metal hoop through a piercing on the left ala nasal, and so that's her nose ring, I do believe. I think I've seen it in different photos. I just want to confirm what I'm looking up here. Yes, the cartilage on each side of the nose. So I believe I remember seeing that in a photo. The right ear has 3 white metal loops through the helix and a small crescent moon-shaped stud earring through a piercing in the earlobe. The left ear has a post through the helix, a small ball stud through the upper earlobe, and a crescent moon stud earring through the lower earlobe. 3 yellow metal chains are around the neck, one of which has a small colorless stone, one of which has a small constellation-shaped pendant, and the third of which has a small disc-shaped pendant. An open, discolored yellow metal ring is on the left middle finger, and a heavy, darkened yellow metal ring is on the right middle finger. There are 5 bracelets on the right wrist, including a tan elastic band, a black fabric bracelet with a printed logo, a bracelet consisting of multiple black strings bearing a small disc-shaped pendant with an engraved letter, either P or D. The fourth bracelet is a light-colored beaded bracelet, and the fifth is a blue-green elastic band engraved with the lettering Bianchi and Lifetime Sea Otter Classic. The discolored string anklet is around the right ankle. A piercing in the umbilicus bears a white metal curved post with a small ball on one end and a white and orange metal disc on the other end. The orange metal disc portion has a central yellow stone. Engraving around the stone on the orange metal part of the jewelry reads Winchester 38 Special. Evidence of medical intervention, none. External examination. The unembalmed body is that of a slender white female in a state of moderate decomposition. There is generalized sloughing of epidermis, except for portions of plantar skin, which readily separate from the bottoms of the feet and bear multiple toenails. A separate submitted segment of the sloughed epidermis from one of the hands also bears a single thumbnail. There is mild bloating of the body and generalized discoloration of the exposed dermis, ranging from pale gray-green to dark maroon. There is no remaining rigor mortis and no lividity pattern is discernible. A strong odor of decomposition surrounds the remains. No post-mortem insect activity is present. The subject is normocelophilic. Normocelophalic. Let's see what that means. Having normal-sized head shape, basically. There is no apparent external head trauma. The scalp hair is almost completely sloughed due to decomposition and consists of wavy blonde hair up to about 22 inches in max length. The facial features are distorted by decomp and postmortem positioning. The eyes are discolored from decomp, though there is definition between the corneas and the conjunctivae. The anterior chambers of the eyes are discolored from decomp and original color of the irises, and definition of the pupils is obscured. The conjunctivae vary from pale maroon to pale green. The soft tissues of the nose appear normally developed but distorted from decomp. Both nares are patent. There is no palpable nasal fracture. Other mid-facial bones are also palpably intact. The ears are softened from decomp but appear symmetrical. A small amount of fluid is present at the right external auditory meatus, apparently from decomp. There's no apparent discharge from the left ear. The teeth are natural and good condition. There's discoloration of the crowns of the teeth, which have pale pink stain from decomp. The oral mucous membranes show deterioration from decomp with partial sloughing. This results in partial exposure of the anterior mandible and maxilla, so that's her jaw. These changes all appear consistent with postmortem decomp rather than trauma. There's no obvious intraoral injuries. A small amount of purge fluid is collected in the mouth. The lips are softened from decomp and show loss of surface. Let's pronounce this correctly. Epithelium, but are otherwise unremarkable. The neck has a slender, symmetrical exterior contour without evidence of injury. The cervical spine is easily mobilized due to decomp, but is palpably stable. The larynx and trachea are palpably midline. The chest is symmetrical and the chest wall is palpably stable. The breasts are normal, developed adolescent female without palpable masses. The abdomen is slightly distended due to post-mortem tissue gas formation, but has a symmetrical exterior contour and shows no evidence of external injury. The external genitalia are normally developed adolescent female with closely trimmed pubic hair pattern. The speculum exam reveals no evidence of intraoral or vaginal trauma. There appears to be a cervical cap type device within the vaginal vault. The perianal skin shows discoloration from decomp and is otherwise unremarkable. The upper and lower extremities are symmetrical and normally developed and show no apparent external trauma. An area of postmortem change on the left wrist at the radial side is about 4.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters, where there's a splitting of the exposed dermis, which exposes underlying soft tissue. So we know she had that from a recent surgery, that scar on her left wrist. The margins of this area are smooth, and the area is consistent with the dehiscence of a surgical scar. There we go. There is no discoloration suggestive of antemortem hemorrhage. Epidermis from both hands has been previously lost from decomp along with fingernails. The toenails have also separated with the macerated and slawed plantar skin from both feet. The back is symmetrical and the spine is palpably stable at the midline. There's no visible trauma on the back. Now they have the tattoo. A small stippled tattoo of the number 17 is on the lateral right hip. There is a vaguely defined longitudinal linear surgical scar on the ventral left wrist. Postmortem radiographic scan demonstrates an orthopedic plate and multiple screws in the distal left radius. There's no apparent blunt or penetrating injury seen externally. Postmortem radiographic scan of the whole body also demonstrates no evidence of acute skeletal trauma. Internal evidence of injury, none. Opening, incision, and body cavities. So they're going through the standard Y-shaped thoracoabdominal incision reveals subcutaneous fat thickness of 1.3 centimeters at mid-abdomen. So that's very, very thin. All the surfaces are smooth. No excess fluid or body or blood is found in the body cavities. The internal organs are normally arranged. Neck organs, anterior soft tissues of the neck show discoloration from decomp, marked softening, no apparent strap muscle hemorrhages. The hyoid bone and laryngeal cartilages show no fractures. The cervical spine is grossly intact. Her heart weight, 90 grams, appears normally formed. Epicardial surface is smooth with normal fat distribution. Myocardium is softened, moderately decomposed, light brown red. No obvious myocardial lesions. The ventricular walls appear relatively normal in thickness, and the cardiac chamber is normal in size considering the state of preservation. Surfaces, valves show light staining from decomp. Everything is looking normal. The right lung weighs 100 grams. The left lung weighs 110 grams. Isn't that different? It's amazing how our bodies can be different on each side. Lungs light maroon to gray tan. Lung moderately decomposed. No apparent lesions. Prominent tissue gas formation distorts the architecture of both lungs. Apparently no airway obstruction. Arteries appear normally developed. A lot of normal formation. The esophagus and stomach are patent, continuous, and normally developed. Stomach contains a trace amount of food material consistent with small fragments of peas or beans. Gas, bloating, otherwise unremarkable. You can go through and read all these details, but I'm giving you the highlights. The liver weighs 400 grams, appears normal in shape, diminished in size from decomp, capsule intact and smooth, gallbladder normally formed, right kidney weighs 50 grams, left kidney weighs 70 grams. Oh, so that's it. A diva cup was found in the upper vaginal vault. Small amount of menstrual fluid, so that's just everything looks normal. I guess that proves that Kiely wasn't pregnant, apparently, and the spleen weighs 40 grams, appears normal. The thyroid is severely decomposed and difficult to identify. Adrenals are markedly softened from decomp. Just a lot of decomp there. Otherwise, everything looks pretty normal. Reflection of the scalp reveals light maroon staining of the deep scalp tissues, predominantly on the right side, consistent with lividity under the effects of decomp. Brain weighs 1,000 grams. So there is dissection of the left wrist confirms the presence of orthopedic hardware attached to the ventral surface of the distal radius, consisting of a stainless steel 2-column volar plate held in place by multiple screws. And I think that's going to be about it. Submerged in vehicle, recovered from an inverted position in lake. Postmortem changes consistent with prolonged water submersion, no external or internal evidence of significant injury. Postmortem tox on liver tissue positive for alcohol, basically nicotine, caffeine, THC, and cotinine. I'm trying to remember if we looked up cotinine just that quickly. I think we did, but I'm trying to remember what it was. But overall, I mean, I know a lot of people won't be willing to accept this as an accident, but yeah, by nicotine, I thought that's what it was. But I'm willing to just, this is what it is, cause of death, drowning, and it looks like it was an accident. You know, that's where we have to leave it, I believe. I will just close with Proverbs 1:8-9. Exhortations to embrace wisdom. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. So it's a really sad report, but I think the best we can do here is, as always, pray for Kiely's soul, her loved ones, and all we can do is see as a cautionary tale. Just try not to follow the same path. It looks like it was generally accepted as an accident, and I know a lot of people previously this said pending investigation at this point, but later in the report it's going to give her cause as drowning, and we're going to have another cause as just accidental. So we have it drowning, pending investigation there, pending the forensic pathologist finding drowning. But in essence, it looks like it's just an accident. Accident, manner of death, accident. So it is a little confusing. I mean, we'll have to examine this further. I know a lot of people will have a lot of commentary about this. I just wanted to put out these results right now, and then we will probably maybe talk about this, I don't know, one more time. Who knows how much, but I know certain people won't be willing to accept these results, but they are what they are. I just want to get them up for now, and we'll go through perhaps more later. Thank you so much for watching.